Hey guys, so today's video is going to be this awesome Halloween tutorial, and this will be a Circus Ringmaster. This will be my only Halloween tutorial because ain't nobody got time to make all these tutorials. But this is what you've got this year. I hope you guys enjoy it. It was super fun to do, and I really love the way it turned out. So if you want to see how I got this really cool Circus Ringmaster look, then please keep on watching. So the first product I'm using is MAC Full Coverage Foundation in the color NC15, and I'm putting that on as a base all over my eye area. I did this because I was using that for my highlighting, and I just decided to be easy and use it for my face too, for my primer too, but it creases really bad, so I don't recommend it. So I'm going in the Tamanna palette, I think is how you say it, from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and I took the color Fresh on a Lancome shader brush, and I put that all over my eyelid. And next I'm going to go in with the color Rule from MAC, which is a really great soft orange color. And using a Lancome blending brush, I'm going to start blending this in the crease of my eye. I apologize in advance that the video is really bright. I didn't realize that when I was filming it was so bright, but you can still get an idea and be able to really see what's going on in the video. So I am blending that from the inner corner to the outer corner. And then I'm going to go in with Brown Script from MAC. And using the little brush you get in the Tamanna palette, I am going to start using the flat side to put that in the crease, as well as the pointy side, and just kind of pulling that all the way across. And I want to get this a little bit precise. And then I'm going in with this e.l.f. blending brush, one of the cheap $1 ones, and I'm going to start blending that out. And then again going in with the bigger blending brush and keep blending out. And every time I add a color, I am going to start sort of pulling it out, as you can see I just did, sort of pulling it out to the edge, and then pulling it down into the inner corner as well, just so we kind of have the base of those blending colors for when we start adding our darker ones. It's going to make them blend out a lot nicer. Next I'm taking Ground Brown from MAC with the e.l.f. brush, and I'm going to start putting that in the crease of my eye. And basically this is kind of how you see me do a lot, where I'm basically taking the lightest to the darkest and building them up and getting them more tightly into the crease area every time I go a little bit darker with the color. Pretty much what I'm doing here. Just adding that in, and I'm going back and forth with the bigger blending brush and the smaller, just to get the definition I'm looking for, and then blending it out every time. After that, we're going to go to the lower lash line. I'm putting Smolder eye pencil from MAC all across the lower lash line in the waterline. And then I'm going to smudge that out with that brush from the Tamanna palette, and sort of pull that up the side of the wing as well. And then we're going to go into the color Noir, again from that same Tamanna palette. And I'm going to place that on top of that black eyeliner to really intensify it and smoke it out a little more. Smolder can kind of take on a blue undertone, so this will tone that down. And then I'm also going to bring that black eyeshadow into the crease of the eye and just kind of place that there. We are going to go back in and clean that up and make it a lot more defined. But for now, we're kind of just laying down those colors, the base colors first, and getting them blended out. Going back in with that e.l.f. brush again to make sure it's all blended. And every time I do this kind of thing, I will kind of take a little extra brown script or a little extra of the brown down to help the black blend out. And then I'm doing like now, going back in with the black to make sure that's still intense. And like I always do, and what makes it easiest for blending is just kind of going back and forth with the colors. Next I'm going to take brown script on the lower lash line right underneath the black shadow, with the flat side of that brush from the palette. And then again, like I said, layering on the top until it's blended out nicely. I also decided to take a little brown script and put that in the outer corner of my eye, so it wasn't such a harsh just white and then black. I wanted it to sort of fade in a little bit. And then I put brown script to make that fade a little more, and then went back in with a little more black to make sure that was still nice and intense. And I was eating edamame while I was doing this, cute face. So then after this, I slowed this down a lot because I was out of frame, basically taking the Noir eyeshadow on an angled brush and creating sort of a wing shape, and then starting to cut the crease with that color as well. sort of making, like, as you can see, a little outer V kind of pocket area with that black color. I'm almost at a frame at this point, but basically we're just going to start pulling it across the crease, as you can see here. And now you can sort of see what I did in that outer corner and made that little like triangular V shape with the black shadow. This is kind of where we're making it more precise and a little more intense. So also in the inner corner I did put brown down instead of the black, so it's kind of fading from the black to the dark brown. And then we're going to go back in with that small blendy side from that brush from the Tamanna palette and start blending that black out into the other colors, just to make sure there's a nice gradient on the top and then it is really harsh on the bottom of that line. Because that's the look I'm going for. Like, I still want that, you know, harshness on the bottom, but I don't want it so harsh on the top. So next I'm going to start with my foundation. This is MAC Full Coverage Foundation NC30. I definitely would need to use NC40 or NC40 probably for my skin color right now, but I didn't have it in that color and I didn't realize it was lighter until I look now on video. But you'll get over it. It still looks fine. So I'm just blending that in with a MAC 189 brush, which is discontinued unfortunately, but just any big foundation brush. And then we're going in with a 193 brush and the NC15 Full Coverage Foundation and using that to highlight under the eyes. I'm going to also use that to clean up the edge of the eyeshadow, so we're just pulling that straight across that edge. And then I'm also going to kind of pull that up all the way to the hairline and then kind of make it so it blends down into the foundation. The face sculpting is very, very similar to like drag, kind of what I'm going for here. It is really, really intense face sculpting. So once that under eye is good, I sort of blended it into the rest of the face makeup with the big foundation brush. And now I'm taking that color again in the center of the face. So we're going down the center of the nose, also up onto the forehead, right a little bit above the eyebrows and then the middle of the forehead, and then again using the big fat brush to kind of tap that out so it blends into the rest of the foundation. I'm also going to take that on the upper lip as well as the chin a little bit, and then again blend it out with a big foundation brush just to make sure it's nice and blended. So for the contouring, I'm going to start off with a cream base, and this is Matchmaster concealer from MAC in the color 8.5. And using that same 193 brush, this is absolutely great for really intense sculpting because it's so thin, you can get a great line. We're going to start at the hairline, pull it in towards the nose, and then I'm going to start blending that out a little bit. And basically you want this line, again, harsh on the bottom, blended on the top, just like with the eyeshadow. And then you want to kind of smile a little bit so the apple of your cheek sticks out, and extend that line sort of underneath the apple of your cheek in and kind of curve it up more like you're going to go in towards your nostrils. And that's going to give you that really pronounced and theatrical cheekbone kind of look. I did go in here with that blending brush again and the brown down eyeshadow and started again on the bottom of that line, blending it up, and then as you can see, blending it in towards the nose again where that line is sort of fading, and then just keep going back on top and adding more until it's as deep as you want it to be. I did also kind of mix in here a little brown script as I felt I needed to blend a little further and to bring some warmth into it. So like here I believe I'm using brown script to add some warmth to that area. And basically, you know, just keep blending over and over again until it works. I'm adding a little bit of light mineralized skin finish under the eye to set that and to intensify that lightness a little bit more. My computer is really hot right now, so sorry if you hear me moving it. So next I'm going to be taking Bamboo eyeshadow from MAC, and I'm going to start blending that on the side of my nose for a contour. I am extending that from the corner of the eye where we already have eyeshadow and bringing it down the nose so it's all kind of fluid. I blended over it with a little bit of brown script, and now we're just going to go again back and forth with the brushes like I like to do, where I'm adding some color to intensify it and then blending it out a little bit more to make sure it's nice and blended. You're going to go kind of on the side of the nose and right underneath the tip of the nose as well, and then very lightly blend it down the sides of the nose. After that, we're going to take a little more brown script on that flat brush and extend the lower lash line into the nose contour. So we're keeping that brightness just on the little bit of the inner corner, and then we're going to have sort of that shadow right above that brightness and right below it, if that makes sense. Going back here with that blending brush with brown script to intensify that and blend it out a little more, and then back with the black also to make sure that stays nice and intense. And now we're going to move on to liner. This is MAC's Black Chromographic, or Chromaline, I believe it's called, from the Pro Store. Using a 210 brush, we're going to start off with your kind of basic line across the lash line. And then I am pulling that out the entire length that I had the black shadow, pulling that up into a nice wing, and then kind of intensifying the fact that that was a little blunt right there going into the crease. So it's almost like a little V shape of eyeliner going into the crease just a little bit and kind of fading into the black we had. After that, I took a little bit more of a darker brown shadow, the brown down, because I wanted the nose contour to be a little more intense. So I applied that, and then I'm blending it with brown script, and then again kind of going back and forth with those colors until I feel it's blended enough. So next we're going to do brows. This is really important. So I'm using Dipdown Fluidline from MAC because I want this to be a lot more intense than usual. Usually I'll go lighter than this. So I'm first creating a line on the lower part of my eyebrow to get kind of that bottom shape I'm looking for. And then when I get to the front, I'm gonna flick it in sort of a circular motion. So it's like a little rounded kind of flick piece at the front, because I'm basically looking for a really intense eyebrow that looks very circusy, very clownish, very kind of intensified, like showing an emotion, sort of anger or, you know, that kind of thing without me having to make a face, if that makes sense. So I did that, I filled in the arch, and then basically for the front you kind of want to just fluff it up but without adding much extra color. If there's any extra color I'm adding, it's just to the bottom and just to really make sure that that flick looks really defined. But then as far as the other front part of the eyebrow, it's just kind of flicking it up so it looks natural and not too much. As natural as it could look, I guess, if you have a big flick in the front. So I put on my favorite mink lashes. Those are Esqido in the style Voila Lash. They're very long and flicked out at the ends, along with my MAC 3D black mascara, the In Extreme Dimension. And then to finish out the face contouring, to make sure the face is balanced, you definitely want to contour around the foreheads and the chin and everything. So I'm putting the 8.5 concealer on first and blending that in with a foundation brush. And then I'm going to go in with a MAC 129 blush brush and the brown down shadow. And I'm going to also add that to further intensify the contour around the foreheads, because it would look really strange if you had that really deep contouring and all the mess going on in the center of your face and no color or contouring anywhere else around the face. So I'm doing that, and then I am also putting the brown down underneath my jawline and sort of on the sides there, again, to kind of create the uniform look of having that great contouring all around the face. And then we're bringing it to the chin as well, so starting out with a little brown script to keep it nice and warm. I'm going to put that under the chin and under the lip as well. And then we're going to go in with brown down as well. And I'm taking the blush brush again, and if this makes sense, I'm going to try to explain as best as possible. Basically, you're going to pull it up into where it's like pulling it up maybe near the sides of the chin, so not right underneath the chin, but along the sides, to where you can see what I'm doing here. Almost you're making the center of the chin pop out more because there's some shadow to the sides. I'm hoping that makes sense. Sort of like if you think a ventriloquist doll has those lines down the side, that's kind of where you'd want to put this color, and that's going to really intensify that shape of having more of a standout chin, as you can see here. So finally we're going to do the lips, at least I think. No wait, this isn't the end. We're getting there though. So for the lips, I'm using the same Chromaline I used on my eyes, and I am going to start creating my lip shape. So using an angled brush, we're going to kind of line the lips. I'm making sure my lips are, I'm not smiling, it's very like soft, everything is, can't find the word for it right now, but you know what I mean. I'm not smiling, I'm just kind of making my regular face. And then I'm going to pull it up around the edges into like a curl, kind of curl it up on the ends so it looks like I'm smiling even when I'm not. And then you're going to pull that color down to the corner as well of the mouth, and then connect that corner down to the lower lip as well, and really, you know, round out that shape, line the bottom lip, pull that around and make sure it's, you know, crisp, as nice as you want it. And here I'm kind of going over it a little bit to make sure it's nice and crisp. And then once you're at that point, you can fill in your lips with this liner as well. Keep in mind, my lips are already dry to begin with. You guys know this always happens every video, and someone has to comment about my lips being dry. They're always dry, and this eyeliner definitely doesn't help with the dryness, but that's okay. So then I'm taking Antique Dye Shadow from MAC because I thought it would give a little more dimension and not just be plain black, and it tied in with the colors of the eyes and the face as well. And I just patted that more towards the center of the lips and then blended it out from there. That way the lip kind of has a little bit something different, a little dimension, and it's not just flat, black, plain, you know? So after that is done, I'm going to create some lines under my eyes. This is the word I was looking for, relaxed. My lips were relaxed when I did that liner. Same with my eyes. I'm going to relax my eyes. If you notice in pictures, and I think everybody kind of does this, you kind of like do that thing that Tyra Banks called smizing. You smile with your eyes. I tend to do that, but most of the day I'm probably going to be kind of chillaxing, doing makeup, you know. When I wear this to work, I'm going to be kind of looking at paperwork, maybe looking at the computer. I won't be smizing most of the time because I won't be posing for a picture. So as you can see, when I smize, it kind of gets curly, if that makes sense. It gets a little wavy. So I'm just doing it straight when my eyes relaxed, and then when I kind of smile with my eyes, it gets a little wavy, but I think it still looks good. So basically, you're just making a straight line down, making them thin at the bottom and a little thicker towards the top, and I'm making a crazy face because I felt really crazy at this point. So yeah, that's pretty much the makeup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and subscribing, and I will see you next time. Bye.